A deep interpretation of the classic Taoist text Zhuangzi. Chapter 1. Do you also yearn to ride the wind and roam freely between heaven and earth? If life is a journey, would you choose to be bound by worldly constraints or soar freely on the wings of the wind? Zhuangzi, a Taoist classic from over 2,000 years ago, ignites countless souls with its fantastical allegories and profound philosophy, inspiring a longing for freedom and wisdom. Why does it still captivate modern readers across millennia? Let us step into Zhuangzi's world, follow the wings of the great Peng bird, and explore the path to a carefree life. Zhuangzi is a work by the philosopher Zhuang Zhou and his school from the Warring States period, comprising 33 chapters divided into inner, outer, and miscellaneous sections, with core chapters like Carefree Wandering, on Equalizing Things, and Nurturing Life. Through allegories, dialogues, and imagination, it explores freedom, non-action, equality of all things, and the nature of life and death, challenging worldly pursuits of profit and guiding people to transcend constraints for inner peace and freedom. Zhuangzi's prose is poetic and vivid, brimming with wondrous ideas, such as, in the northern sea, there is a fish called Kun, which transforms into a bird named Peng, depicting not only grand natural imagery but also probing the depths of human existence. This book is not only a treasure of Chinese philosophy but has also influenced global thinkers, such as the American writer Henry David Thoreau, whose Walden echoes Zhuangzi's ideas of seclusion and harmony with nature. To interpret Zhuangzi, we must savor its literary beauty and unearth its modern relevance. Zhuangzi's worldview is like a mirror, reflecting our desires for freedom, equality, and the meaning of life. Whether it's the soaring Peng bird or the debates of Hui Shi, they remind us the answers to life may not lie in external pursuits but in inner awakening. Next, we will start with Zhuangzi's life and era, gradually unveiling the wisdom of this classic. Chapter 2. Zhuangzi, the carefree sage in a chaotic world. To understand Zhuangzi, we must first explore Zhuang Zhou's life and the context of the Warring States period. He once said, "My life is finite, but knowledge is infinite." This reclusive philosopher embodied true freedom through his thoughts and way of life. Zhuangzi circa 369–86 BC lived during the mid-Warring States period, born in the state of Song, in Meng modern-day Shankyu, Henan. According to records of the Grand Historian, he briefly served as a minor official in a lacquer garden but chose a life of simplicity and freedom over fame and wealth. Deeply influenced by Laozi, his thoughts surpassed Laozi's mysticism with richer allegories and humor, forming a unique Taoist philosophy. The Warring States period was marked by warring states and social upheaval, with schools like Confucianism, legalism, and Mohism competing to offer solutions for governance. Zhuangzi, however, forged his own path, rejecting fame and focusing on individual inner freedom. His debates with his friend Hui Shi, such as "You are not a fish, how do you know the joy of fish?" became iconic philosophical dialogues, showcasing his sharp wit and humor. Zhuangzi's era, much like today's globalized world, was a time of technological progress and social change, where ordinary people faced survival pressures and identity crises. Zhuangzi's choice, reclusion, and non-contention was a response to the chaos of his time. His story recalls Henry David Thoreau, the 19th-century American writer who lived by Walden Pond for 2 years, rejecting the clamor of industrial society to seek the essence of simple living. Thoreau wrote in Walden, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately." This resonates with Zhuangzi's concept of carefree wandering. Zhuangzi's philosophy was not about escaping reality but facing chaos with wisdom. In Zhuangzi's The Ways of the World, he wrote, "What the world values, value your life above it." He reminds us that the dignity of life surpasses external wealth and honor. This perspective was radical in his time and remains thought-provoking today. In the fast-paced 21st century, many feel trapped in anxiety and competition, much like the scholars of the Warring States. Zhuangzi's reclusion doesn't mean abandoning effort but finding inner balance. Zhuangzi's writing style is worth exploring deeply. His allegories are imaginative, like the Kun fish transforming into the Peng bird or Zhuangzi dreaming of a butterfly, blurring the lines between reality and illusion. His dialogues are sharp and witty, like the Joy of Fish debate with Hui Shi, both humorous and profound. This style gives Zhuangzi both philosophical depth and literary charm, resonating with readers from ancient scholars to modern audiences. For example, in Autumn Waters he wrote, "Summer insects cannot speak of ice, bound by their season." This not only mocks narrow perspectives but also prompts us to reflect on our own limitations. The blend of literature and philosophy makes Zhuangzi a classic that both enlightens the mind and delights the heart. Zhuangzi's life attitude shines through his humor and open-mindedness. Legend has it that when his wife died, he beat on a basin and sang, and when questioned by friends, he explained it with the natural cycle of life and death. This detachment recalls modern comedian Jim Carrey, who, in his memoir, shared how he overcame depression through meditation and philosophy, learning to face life's impermanence with humor. Zhuangzi's humor and Carrey's openness both reflect a wisdom that transcends suffering. His attitude is also evident in his playful mockery of worldly conventions. In Zhuangzi's Lai Yuku, when facing death, his disciples planned a lavish funeral, but he laughed, saying, "I take heaven and earth as my coffin, the sun and moon as my jade ornaments." This carefree view of death not only shows his philosophical grace but also inspires us to see life with a broader perspective. Chapter 3, On Equalizing Things, The Light of Universal Equality. On Equalizing Things is a core chapter of Zhuangzi presenting the philosophy of equalizing things, challenging human arrogance and prejudice. Zhuangzi wrote, "Heaven and earth were born with me, and all things are one with me." He believed that in the face of the Tao, all things are equal, and human self-importance is merely a misunderstanding, like 3 in the morning, 4 at night. This idea subverted Confucian hierarchies in the warring states and offers a perspective of equality and inclusion today. The core of Equalizing Things is transcending differences and embracing the diversity of all things. In On Equalizing Things, Zhuangzi tells of Nangguo Ziki sitting in a trance, depicting a state of self-forgetfulness. When one sheds prejudices, the heart becomes a mirror, seeing all things equally. Nangguo Ziki said, "I have lost myself." This is not just a meditative state but a philosophical stance, urging us to let go of self-centeredness and embrace the world's complexity. This idea resonates with modern psychology, such as Carl Rogers' humanistic psychology, which emphasizes unconditional acceptance for genuine communication. Rogers once counseled a young man named Isaac, who felt inferior due to workplace competition. By guiding Isaac to stop comparing and value himself, Rogers helped him regain confidence. Isaac's story aligns with the spirit of On Equalizing Things. Only by letting go of bias can we see each person's unique light. Zhuangzi further explains equalizing things through allegories. In the 3 in the morning, 4 at night story, a monkey keeper offers monkeys 3 chestnuts in the morning and 4 at night, angering them. When reversed, they are content. Zhuangzi uses this to mock humanity's obsession with superficial gains, ignoring essential equality. This allegory recalls modern consumer traps. For instance, Zhu Ji, a 28-year-old Shanghai office worker, fell into debt chasing designer bags but later embraced minimalism, learning to focus on inner needs. Zhu Ji said, "I realized happiness lies not in how much you have, but in how little you need." Her transformation echoes Zhuangzi's Equalizing Things. True equality comes from freeing oneself from comparison. Equalizing Things also shapes Zhuangzi's view of life and death, seeing them as natural cycles like day and night, unworthy of attachment. In On Equalizing Things, he wrote, "How do we know life if we do not know death?" This detachment helps us face life's impermanence. For example, Swedish hospice expert Elizabeth Kabler-Ross found that those who accept death often cherish the present more. Her patient Nora, a terminal cancer patient, learned to live with gratitude, passing away peacefully. Nora's experience aligns with Zhuangzi's Equalizing Things. Embracing life and death equally brings serenity. The wisdom of On Equalizing Things also inspires modern society. In the internet age, polarized opinions and identity labels are rampant. Zhuangzi's All Things Are One With Me encourages us to transcend binary oppositions and foster listening and understanding. For example, in 2020, amid U.S. racial tensions, community leader Mary organized dialogue sessions, letting people of different backgrounds share stories, fostering reconciliation. Mary's efforts reflect Zhuangzi's Equalizing Things spirit. Equality is not erasing differences but respecting them. On Equalizing Things also prompts reflection on technology and humanity, such as ethical debates around artificial intelligence. Zhuangzi's equality reminds us that technology should serve all life, not reinforce biases. Chapter 4, Carefree Wandering, the Realm of Soaring Freedom. Carefree Wandering opens Zhuangzi with a majestic vision of freedom. Zhuangzi wrote, "In the northern sea, there is a fish called Kun, vast beyond measure, transforming into a bird called Peng." Kun-Peng is not just a literary marvel but a symbol of freedom. It transcends the limitations of small birds, soaring 90,000 miles on the wind, embodying an unbound life. Through the contrast between the Peng and small creatures like the cicada and dove, Zhuangzi reveals two levels of freedom: small freedom, limited by external conditions, and great freedom, born of inner transcendence. The core of carefree wandering is breaking free from constraints to pursue spiritual freedom. Zhuangzi sees worldly fame and wealth as a cage that traps the heart. In Carefree Wandering, he tells of Zhuangzi, who was unmoved by praise or blame, achieving a state where the world's praise does not encourage him, nor its criticism deter him. This recalls 19th century American poet Walt Whitman, who wrote in Leaves of Grass, "I am my own universe." Whitman rejected societal approval, finding himself in nature and poetry, echoing Zhuangzi's carefree wandering. Zhuangzi further illustrates freedom with the allegory of Laozi riding the wind. Though Laozi could ride the wind, he still relied on it, not fully free. True carefreeness is non-dependent, self-sufficient, needing no external support. Zhuangzi wrote, "One who rides the true course of heaven and earth, harnessing the changes of the six key, wondering in the infinite what need has he for dependence." This aligns with modern philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre's view of freedom as humanity's essence, where even in hardship, one can find meaning through choice. For instance, during World War II, French resistance member Jean faced Nazi oppression but chose to write underground newspapers, embodying inner freedom. Jean's story resonates with Zhuangzi's carefree wandering. Freedom is an inner choice, not external liberation. In modern society, freedom is often mistaken for material wealth or abundant choices. Zhuangzi reminds us that true freedom is liberation from desires. For example, Zhu Ji, a 35-year-old Chinese freelancer, left a high-paying tech job due to burnout from overtime and KPIs, becoming a travel blogger with modest income but greater freedom. Zhu Ji said, "I don't need much money, just the freedom to do what I love." His choice reflects Zhuangzi's non-dependence. True carefreeness makes the heart its own refuge. Carefree wandering also offers a practical path to freedom. Zhuangzi doesn't advocate total detachment from society but teaches us to find freedom within reality. In Carefree Wandering, he notes, "Small knowledge cannot match great knowledge, nor short years match long years," urging us not to be limited by short-term gains. Through the short-sightedness of the cicada and dove, he satirizes the pursuit of fleeting interests. This insight is vital today. For example, Silicon Valley entrepreneur Ellen left a stable corporate job to develop a mental health app, prioritizing value over quick profits. Ellen's persistence echoes Zhuangzi's carefree wandering. Freedom lies in choosing meaning over results. Carefree wandering also prompts reflection on education, often driven by utilitarian goals. Zhuangzi's freedom inspires cultivating independent thinking rather than blind conformity. Chapter 5, The Ways of the World, the Wisdom of Non-Action. The Ways of the World directly addresses real-world living, proposing the philosophy of non-action. Zhuangzi wrote, "Knowing what cannot be changed and accepting it as fate is the height of virtue." He believed that in complex relationships and societal pressures, forcing change is often futile. True wisdom lies in following nature and resolving conflicts through non-action. Non-action is not inaction but avoiding forced efforts against nature's flow. In The Ways of the World, Zhuangzi tells of Zhili Shu, a deformed recluse whose uselessness spared him from conscription, allowing him to live peacefully. Zhuangzi introduces the paradox of the use of uselessness. Seeming uselessness can protect oneself. This recalls Japanese Zen master D.T. Suzuki's philosophy of no mind as the highest focus. For example, 20th century Japanese kendo master Jiro Yamada never forced students to mimic but let them learn naturally through practice. A disciple recalled, "He taught us to be like water, flowing with the moment." This flowing wisdom aligns with Zhuangzi's non-action. Zhuangzi also illustrates non-action through the story of Yan Hui visiting Confucius. Yan Hui planned to reform a tyrant in Wei, but Confucius warned that forceful persuasion would backfire, advocating softness over rigidity. Zhuangzi wrote, "Empty your mind as in a fast, forget yourself as if nothing." This mind fasting is a clear state, letting go of obsessions to handle relationships calmly. For instance, modern workplace mediator Sophia excels at resolving team conflicts by listening and asking questions, guiding parties to consensus. Sophia said, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than words." Her approach mirrors Zhuangzi's mind fasting. Non-action also involves detachment from fame and wealth. In The Ways of the World, when the king of Chu invited Zhuangzi to serve, he replied, "I'd rather revel in the mud than be bound by rulers." He chose freedom over power's constraints. This resonates in modern times, like Swedish activist Greta Thunberg, who rejects commercial endorsements to stay true to her environmental beliefs. Her choice embodies Zhuangzi's non-action, staying true to one's inner voice, unswayed by external temptations. The Ways of the World also offers insights into relationships. Through the story of craftsman Shi and Qi, Zhuangzi shows that obsessing over a perfect axe neglects the skill of chopping. This warns against perfectionism's pitfalls. For example, Chinese project manager Lin Ren once micromanaged for flawless projects, demoralizing his team, but learned to let go, boosting efficiency. Lin Ren's shift reflects Zhuangzi's non-action. True leadership lets things unfold naturally. The Ways of the World also teaches navigating workplace power struggles, with non-action advocating softness over conflict. Chapter 6, Zhuangzi's Philosophy of Life, Wisdom Beyond Life and Death. The core allure of Zhuangzi lies in its profound insight into life. Through detachment from life and death, harmony with nature, and liberation of the self, Zhuangzi builds a complete philosophy of life. In Nurturing Life, he wrote, "As fuel is exhausted, the fire passes on, its end unknown. Life is like kindling. Individuals pass, but the flame of life endures." This open-minded view of life and death is the essence of Zhuangzi's thought. In Ultimate Joy, Zhuangzi recounts singing after his wife's death, explaining to his puzzled friend Hui Shi, "Death is a companion to life. Life, a companion to death." Life and death are natural shifts, like day and night, requiring no sorrow. This echoes Indian poet Rabindranath Tagore's Stray Birds, "Let life be beautiful like summer flowers and death like autumn leaves." Tagore's acceptance of life and death aligns with Zhuangzi's philosophy. For example, 74-year-old Japanese woman Kazuko Tanaka, after losing her husband, wrote daily poems to embrace life, saying, "Death is not an end, but another beginning." Tanaka's openness mirrors Zhuangzi's view of life and death. Through the Zhuangzi Dreams of a Butterfly allegory, he explores the self and the world, waking unsure if he was Zhuangzi dreaming of a butterfly or a butterfly dreaming of Zhuangzi. This blurring challenges our fixed notions of self. Modern neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's research suggests self-consciousness is a brain construct, not eternal, echoing Zhuangzi's insight. For instance, 41-year-old British artist Emma, recovering from depression, found freedom through meditation, saying, "I stopped clinging to me and felt freer." Emma's experience reflects Zhuangzi's no-self philosophy. Zhuangzi's philosophy of life also reveres nature, seeing humans as part of it, to follow the Tao. In The Great Ancestor, he wrote, "Heaven and earth are the parents of all things." This respect for nature aligns with ecologist Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, urging harmony with nature to avoid ecological harm. For example, Chinese environmentalist Zhou Jing left urban life to plant ecological forests in Yunnan, saying, "I'm part of nature. Protecting it protects myself." Zhou Jing's actions embody Zhuangzi's naturalism. Zhuangzi's philosophy also reflects on desires. In Deliberate Effort, he wrote, "Striving for distinction and shunning the world only leads to extremism. Over-pursuing external success causes loss of self." For instance, Silicon Valley entrepreneur James chased a company IPO, neglecting family, leading to divorce, but later found peace prioritizing his children. James's journey echoes Zhuangzi's teaching. True happiness comes from shedding desires. Chapter 7, Zhuangzi Today, A Light of Wisdom for Modern Life. Though born over 2,000 years ago, Zhuangzi remains a guide for modern life. Its allegories and philosophy answer our quests for freedom, equality, and life's meaning. Zhuangzi said, "Those who know contentment are not burdened by profit." In today's materialistic world, this reminds us that happiness stems from inner fulfillment, not external pursuits. Zhuangzi's Equalizing Things offers insight for modern societal conflicts. In a globalized era of clashing cultures, races, and ideas, his "All things are one with me" encourages inclusivity. For example, South African leader Nelson Mandela promoted reconciliation over revenge after ending apartheid, aligning with Zhuangzi's Equalizing Things to foster peace. Zhuangzi's philosophy shows that inclusion is not compromise but wisdom. The freedom of carefree wandering is an antidote to modern anxiety. In high-pressure workplaces and social media's grip, Zhuangzi's non-dependence redefines freedom. For instance, 32-year-old Norwegian coder Nora left a high-paying job to run an organic farm, saying, "I don't need likes, just my own contentment." Nora's choice embodies Zhuangzi's freedom. True carefreeness is following one's heart. Non-action offers a way to navigate modern life's pace. Driven by competition and efficiency, Zhuangzi's non-action teaches letting go of control and embracing flow. Management expert Peter Drucker's Management by Simplification echoes this, advocating minimal intervention to unleash creativity. This aligns with Zhuangzi's non-action, finding simplicity in complexity. Zhuangzi's philosophy also provides wisdom for uncertainty. In Wandering in the North, he wrote, "Life between heaven and earth passes like a white colt flashing by. Life's brevity urges us to cherish the present." During the 2020 pandemic, Italian Dr. Carla, working in ICU, wrote letters to patients, spreading hope, saying, "I can't change outcomes, but I can make each day meaningful." Carla's actions reflect Zhuangzi's view: action gives fleeting life eternal value. Zhuangzi also inspires modern technology. Its naturalism urges technology to coexist with nature. Dutch designer Don Roosgaard's smog-free tower improves air quality, aligning with Zhuangzi's following heaven. Zhuangzi prompts reflection on AI ethics, with its no-self reminding us that technology should serve humanity, not replace it. Zhuangzi's wisdom is a timeless lamp, guiding us to peace in chaos and direction in fog. Zhuangzi said, "Heaven and earth hold great beauty, yet speak not." May we all find our carefree path in Zhuangzi's philosophy, riding the wind to embrace life's infinite possibilities.